Hello, my name is Eli Mercer, and today I will be giving a persuasive speech on why mulching should be used instead of herbicides in genetically modified farming operations. My specific purpose is to motivate the audience to consider a more beneficial method of dealing with weeds rather than spraying herbicides. So, mulching should replace herbicides in the attempts to control weeds in the farming industry. Now, how do you feel about the fruits and vegetables from supermarkets being sprayed with herbicides throughout the growing season? What about the non-food items like soaps, detergents, and cleaners that genetically modified plants are used in? Well, nearly all farms use some type of herbicides, whether they are naturally or chemically induced. Herbicides is an all-encompassing term referring to insecticides, pesticides, as well as weed killers. And in 2008, well, the report was done in 2012. The results are for 2008. It's estimated by the USDA that 516 million pounds of insecticides were used. For reference, this is a Boeing 747 jet, which weighs approximately 385,000 pounds. If you take 1,298 of those Boeing 747 jets, that is the weight of the accumulated pesticides used in the United States alone. So I've written 3 essays on this subject. First, informing the audience about the lack of research for genetically modified crops. I've argued that GMCs are not yet proven safe for consumption. And I've also persuaded my audience, similar to this speech, that mulch can replace the extensive use of herbicides. And I have over 20 credible sources gathered throughout my research, which I will include with the speech. So, mulching should replace herbicides in the attempts to control weeds in the farming industry. This can be done through plasticulture, a type of recycled, biodegradable plastic mulch. And myself, with many others, believe that it is the future of farming. First, I will discuss plasticulture in controlling weeds. Next, I'll explore the benefit of a much-needed water retention program through the implementation of plasticulture. And you'd probably be surprised, I will inform you on the water usages of the United States as well. Finally, I will explain the cost effectiveness that modern plasticulture techniques entail. So, plasticulture is an extremely effective weed control measure by preventing the majority of weeds from germinating. By preventing sunlight from reaching the soil and controlling the amount of water surrounding crop plants, weeds are greatly reduced. This also prevents the spread of herbicide-resistant weeds, which can be detrimental to farming operations. Often these superweeds spread to farms across the state. In this case, it is Palmer pigweed. I'm sure we've all seen it in fields in rural areas. In 2012, Larry Steckel from the Tennessee Extension Weed Specialty from Southeast Farm Press describes in great length how herbicide-resistant Palmer pigweed, once it's past 6 inches tall, it cannot be treated, and it has spread across the state of Tennessee as well as into Mississippi. And even from 2012, in 2017, this still proves to be a major problem because as weed plants develop mutations and become immune to these herbicides, it requires more and more, leading to that 516 million pounds per year. So aside from strongly mitigating the spread of weeds, plasticulture also assists greatly in water retention. As we all know, fresh water is crucial for life on Earth, and plasticulture has proven that it can greatly reduce the amount of irrigation required for farming. Water withdrawals within the U.S. per state, as seen here, ranges from hundreds of millions of gallons per day to billions. From the low end is a few million gallons per day per state. Well, far more than that. All the way to the high end of 46 billion gallons used in drier states like Texas and Florida. Now, this can prove a serious issue as water isn't as big of a concern in the United States, but it should be because one day we could end up like many other countries, struggling for the precious resource of water. And the water results were published in 2016 for 2010 by the U.S. Geological Survey. Ron Perlman. Sorry. So, in countries like India, where water is far more precious of a resource, plasticulture has been successful in driving down water usage for farming operations. In 2015, Krishi Jagran, India's largest rural media network, published an article stating how the ambassador of agriculture in India has adopted plasticulture program and heavily supported it, along with its other benefit, which is using biodegradable plastic, well, recycled plastic that would otherwise go into landfills, as shown here. Because landfills contribute heavily to carbon dioxide and methane levels, and they are poisonous to humans. Now that we've discussed water retention benefits of plasticulture, we will discuss the cost effectiveness of this mulching technique. Modern technology has greatly reduced the costs associated with biodegradable plasticulture and made it a feasible option for any farmer, including organic operations. Supporting details: through modern science and the recycling of billions of tons of plastic, photo and biodegradable plastics, these plasticultures can be utilized by farms at an affordable price. As Kasijan and Gaujo published an article in April of 2012 called Polyethylene and Biodegradable Mulches for Agricultural Application, a review. They said, with truly biodegradable materials obtained from petroleum and natural resources, opportunity for using biodegradable polymers as agricultural mulch film has become more viable, and this holds true even more in 2017. So first, we discussed how mulch can successfully eliminate the dependence on herbicides for more successful farming operations. Second, we explored the ways that plasticulture can help crop plants retain water and decrease the necessity for irrigation. It should also be noted that the drip tubes are applied underneath the plastic, directly watering the roots rather than the overhead large irrigation systems that spray water across the plants, and effectively much of that water is evaporated. Finally, I explained the cost effectiveness of modern plasticulture and how it's a probable solution for any farming operation. So mulching should replace herbicides in the attempt to control weeds in the farming industry. So now, with all this discussed, considering all the food and non-food products that rely on modified farming crops, mulch is an effective measure for reducing herbicide use, preserving the precious resource of water, and saving money for the gracious farmers that grow these products for our everyday uses. If there are any questions, I will also include all of the references throughout my research for your viewing. Thank you for your time and attention. Again, this was Eli Mercer, and this was a persuasive speech on why mulching should be used to replace herbicides in genetically modified crop fields. Thank you.